In the distant past, in the heart of a vibrant and bustling kingdom, there lived a young prince named Siddhartha. He was raised in opulence, shielded from the harsh realities of the world by his loving father, King Suddhodana. From a young age, Siddhartha displayed exceptional qualities: wisdom, compassion, and a deep sense of empathy. His life was filled with pleasures, and he was surrounded by servants who catered to his every need. As Siddhartha grew older, he became increasingly curious about life beyond the palace walls. He yearned to explore the world, to understand the nature of existence, and to uncover the secrets of suffering and happiness. One fateful day, Siddhartha convinced his charioteer to take him on an excursion beyond the palace grounds, his heart filled with a sense of adventure as they ventured into the world outside. As they traveled, Siddhartha encountered the first of the four sights, an elderly man, bent with age and struggling to walk. His frailty and the lines etched upon his face told a story of a lifetime filled with experiences, both joyful and sorrowful. Siddhartha watched the elderly man with a mixture of curiosity and sadness. He had never seen someone so old before, for the palace had shielded him from the inevitability of aging. The encounter left a deep impression on Siddhartha's heart, and he realized that the passage of time could not be denied. As he continued his journey, Siddhartha came across the second of the four sights, a sick person, lying on a makeshift bed by the side of the road. The person's face was contorted in pain, and their moans echoed through the air. Siddhartha had never witnessed such suffering up close, and it shook him to the core. His charioteer explained that sickness was a part of life, and all beings, regardless of their status, were susceptible to its grasp. Siddhartha's heart was heavy with the understanding that health and vitality were fragile gifts. Determined to continue his exploration, Siddhartha ventured further and encountered the third sight, a funeral procession. Mourners wailed as they carried a lifeless body, draped in white, to its final resting place. The solemnity of the moment pierced Siddhartha's heart like an arrow. The charioteer explained the nature of death and the impermanence of existence. Siddhartha realized that, just like the elderly man and the sick person, death was an inevitable part of life. It was a truth that no one could escape, no matter how privileged or sheltered they might be. Deep in thought, Siddhartha continued his journey and encountered the fourth and final sight, a wandering ascetic, a renunciant who had forsaken worldly possessions and comforts in search of spiritual truth. The ascetic's demeanor radiated calmness and inner peace. Siddhartha approached the ascetic and engaged in a conversation. He learned that the ascetic had chosen a life of simplicity and meditation, seeking to understand the root causes of suffering and the path to liberation. The ascetic's words resonated with Siddhartha. He realized that despite the privilege and luxury of his life in the palace, he had witnessed the undeniable truths of aging, sickness, and death in the outside world. These experiences had stirred a profound longing within him to explore the path of spiritual awakening. Filled with a sense of purpose, Siddhartha returned to the palace but found that his heart was no longer content with worldly pleasures. He confided in his father, King Suddhodana, expressing his desire to seek a deeper understanding of life and suffering. Despite the king's efforts to dissuade him, Siddhartha made a life-altering decision. He decided to renounce his princely status, leave behind his luxurious life, and embark on a spiritual quest for enlightenment. In the moonlit night, as his wife and infant son slept, Siddhartha quietly left the palace and rode away on his horse. With each step, he moved further away from the comforts of his former life, embracing the path of a wandering ascetic, and ultimately, the path to becoming the Buddha. The story of Siddhartha's awakening through the four sights serves as a powerful reminder of the impermanence of life and the universal truths of aging, sickness, and death. It was these profound encounters that set him on a journey to seek the answers to life's deepest questions and to find a path that would lead to the end of suffering. Siddhartha's quest would eventually lead to his enlightenment and his transformation into the Buddha, the Awakened One, whose teachings would inspire countless seekers for generations to come. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment box. Share, subscribe, and like. May you find peace and happiness.